Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the coolest stories from Greek mythology, the tale of Persephone and how winter first came to the world. This story has adventure, mystery, a magical pomegranate, and a whole lot of heart. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's explore this ancient tale together. Long, long ago, when the world was still new and everything was warm and bright, there lived a girl named Persephone. She wasn't just any girl. She was the daughter of Demeter, the goddess who made plants grow. If you've ever eaten a strawberry, a slice of bread, or even a carrot, you can thank Demeter. Persephone loved exploring nature. She'd wander through meadows humming little songs, and flowers would bloom right at her feet. Imagine walking and having daisies pop up like, "Hey, nice to see you." That's what it was like for her. One day, Persephone found a meadow she had never seen before. It sparkled like magic, the kind of place where you just know something special is about to happen. And right in the middle was a single golden flower. She leaned in and whispered to herself, "Wow, you're amazing. I've never seen a flower like you." She reached out to pick it, and that's when everything changed. The earth shook like a giant waking up from a nap. A huge crack opened in the ground. Out of the darkness came a chariot pulled by black horses with eyes that glowed like stars. And driving that chariot was Hades, the god of the underworld. Now, Hades wasn't evil. He was serious, quiet, and honestly a little lonely. He looked at Persephone with a calm but powerful expression and said, "Persephone, I've come for you." Persephone stepped back, surprised. "Me? But why?" Hades answered, "Because fate says your story is meant to cross mine." Before she could run or call for help, the chariot swept her away into the earth, and the crack closed behind them as if nothing had ever happened. Now, Demeter loved her daughter more than anything. When she realized Persephone was missing, she searched everywhere. She called out across mountains and forests, "Persephone, Persephone, where are you?" She asked the birds, the trees, the rivers, everything. But no one had seen her. Days passed, then weeks, then months. As Demeter grew sadder and sadder, the world began to change. Plants wilted. Leaves fell. The warm air turned cold. Animals hid away. The days grew shorter and darker. For the first time ever, winter arrived. Demeter's sadness was so powerful that even the gods on Mount Olympus felt it. They wrapped themselves in extra robes and said things like, "Wow, it's chilly. Someone should really check on Demeter." Meanwhile, Persephone was in the underworld, a place full of shadows, quiet gardens, glowing crystals, and rivers that shimmered like moonlight. It wasn't scary, just different. Hades wasn't mean to her. In fact, he tried to make her feel welcome. He gently said, "You may explore the gardens if you wish. They're yours too." Persephone looked around and said softly, "They're beautiful, but I miss the sun. And my mother." Hades nodded. He understood more than he let on. He wasn't used to company, and he didn't quite know how to make someone feel at home. Still, Persephone refused to eat anything. She knew the rule. If you eat food in the underworld, you must stay there forever. So she wandered the gardens, thinking of home, remembering the sound of birds, the warmth of sunlight, and the way her mother's laughter made everything feel safe. One day, Persephone found a pomegranate hanging from a tree. It glowed like a ruby, bright and tempting. She held it in her hands and whispered, "Just one bite. I'm so hungry." She ate 4 tiny seeds. Just 4. But that was enough to change everything. Up on Mount Olympus, the gods noticed the world freezing. Snow covered the mountains. Rivers slowed. Humans prayed for warmth. Even Zeus, king of the gods, thought to himself, "Okay, this is getting out of hand." Zeus summoned the gods of Mount Olympus for a meeting. "We need Persephone back with us before Demeter's grief freezes us to death," said Zeus. "Hermes, I request you relay a message to Hades as quickly as possible." So he sent Hermes, the super-fast messenger god, to the underworld. Hermes zoomed down to the underworld in a flash of silver light and said, "Hades, Zeus says Persephone must return. The world needs Demeter's warmth." Hades replied calmly, "She may go, but she has eaten the food of my realm." Hermes turned to Persephone and asked, "How many seeds?" Persephone answered quietly, 4. Hermes sighed and said, "Then we must make a deal." And so, the gods created a plan. Persephone would spend part of the year with her mother, and during that time, Demeter would be so happy that flowers would bloom, crops would grow, and warm winds would blow. That's spring and summer. But for each seed Persephone ate, she would spend 1 month in the underworld. For seeds, 4 months. When Persephone returned to the surface, Demeter ran to her. She cried out joyfully, "My child, you're home." Persephone hugged her tightly and said, "I'll always come back, mother, even when the world grows cold." And that's why we have seasons. When Persephone is above ground, the world bursts with life. When she returns to the underworld, the world becomes quiet and chilly. Winter isn't just cold. It's a reminder that Persephone will return and spring will bloom again. Thanks for watching, friends. If you liked this story, hit the like button, subscribe for more myths and adventures, and tell us in the comments which myth you want to hear next.
See you next time.